Hi, everyone. Don't open the bag yet, all right? Wait. I see a few already have. Put it back in the bag. Okay, wow. In front of each and every one of you, there's a small paper bag. Now, I want you to open it. Oh, look at that, music to my ears. Look at the beautiful ridges in front of you. Feel the valleys. Imagine the stories these troughs and peaks could tell. This is a small part of our beautiful Ōrākei Mount Cook National Park, where Ōrākei Mount Cook, the highest peak in Aotearoa, resides. This is the exact topography, scaled down and 3D generated by my friends Krishna Dharamti and cast by Steve Hind, both experts in the architectural design and 3D printing fields. According to Ngāi Tahu, Ōrākei was the eldest of Raki, the Sky Father. Ōrākei and his brothers found themselves stranded in their waka, their hair turning white, and themselves turning into stone, creating the highest peaks in Ka Tiritiri o Te Moana, the Southern Alps. Now, take a bite, if you haven't already. Let the chocolate melt slowly in the roof of your mouth, the crisp crack melting away into fruity tones and a smooth finish. If you taste hints of coffee, red berry, and hazelnut, that's San Martin 76%, a cacao variety grown in the rugged terrains of Peru. The strawberry and soursop tasting notes are from V-Ray 50%, also known as Valley of the Rivers, where three rivers meet in the mid-southern Peruvian jungle. You might even have flavors of Piura, where cacao is grown in the northern desert of Peru, creating a honeyed apricot and malt profile. The variation in terroir, farming, and fermentation practices gives each variety its unique flavor profile. The way the cacao itself is roasted, ground, and aged to create this delicious chocolate. A master chocolatier then teases out their flavor profiles even further. And that's thanks to my friend Jonty over at Lucid Chocolatier in the Wairarapa. From there, it makes its way to me, where I temper the chocolate into the beautiful snapshots of Ōrākei you see before you. The final encore, celebrating the farmer, the cacao, the concept, and its collaborative journey. Kia ora koutou, my name is Vicki, and this is my kōrero. My involvement with food has always been beyond me. Growing up, my pōpō, or nana, would raise me and my brother, while my parents worked from sunrise to sunset on the farm. We grew up in a market gardening family in the Horowhenua, where cooking with the seasons and eating locally and sustainably was, and still is, the way of life. The Lazy Susan was the heart of the home, where we'd share stories and catch up on our days, while passing plates of vegetables and the odd fish caught from our neighbours down the road. Fish wings cured in Shaoxing wine would line the clotheslines, their swaying reflections cast over jars of preserved lemons from the summer just been. This was all I'd known when it came to food, how we could use every last drop, pickle every trim, and simmer every bone. When it came time to leave for university, food remained the centerpiece in every student flat and celebration. Cooking for friends and the flat family provided a sense of familiarity for all of us who moved miles to pursue our careers. A food career was never really in my mind. I was stuck at law school, planning what to cook for a flat of 7 with crates of Tag 3 cauliflower, before the trendy cauliflower pizza wave even hit. We would make endless pots of soups, hand out meals to friends and construction workers outside the flat, and cater to the milestone celebrations. I became the designated cake baker for 21sts. The language of food remained the same: to nourish and to bring everyone together, Lazy Susan or not, cultural differences and beliefs aside. It wasn't until halfway through the second degree, yes, the still ever pervasive law degree, that I had my ratatouille moment of sorts. I remember I was working multiple jobs as a music teacher and at the library, all while baking cakes for my workmates' morning tea birthdays and studying a small business course in the evenings. I was baking cakes at my cousin's house and busing them back to my flat until I finally registered a space with a small oven that did the job. Was it the universe telling me something when I'd finally upgraded from my $5 Sally's mixer? I mean, Well, it sort of worked with the mixing bowl propped up on a chopping board kind of situation. And then I won my very own KitchenAid. I remember telling my parents in tears, failing my first year of law school a number of times, and getting back up each time, trying to decipher the complexity of the law. I thought this was what I was destined to do, to be, after passing the required subjects in high school and being told that law would be the natural path to take. As a result, I felt compelled to do it, to make my parents proud and get that office job that they never did. Yet, I didn't feel like I fit in with law school. The material never clicked. I couldn't figure out why I felt this way or what my alternative would be if I had the courage to quit. Until that office lunch break, when scrolling across an Instagram ad and a new bakery course offered at the local polytech jumped up. Suddenly, I felt this massive push to sign up. So I dropped out of law school and enrolled into pastry school, all within the same week. I left the comfort of my 9 to 5 to figure out why I felt so drawn to this new venture. I can't explain how scared I was, but I knew I had to see it through. For once in a very long time, I felt a sense of why I wanted to do this. That didn't mean the years that followed were easy breezy. They were, in fact, pretty damn scary. I worked in industry while studying, and yes, sometimes it did kind of feel like the seat of the bear, but you turn up to work anyways. Because I knew my why. I knew my why despite my parents worrying about what they could not see as a career. When you find yourself in a kitchen, bakery, or restaurant with like-minded people, all working on the love language of food, it absolutely takes your breath away. I want to showcase what food was all about, and that for me was dessert, the last course, the final hurrah that tied all the previous courses together and was the last impression the diner would leave with, your one moment of connection, of storytelling. I wanted to bring back memories of nostalgic childhood treats. The jelly tip in particular was, and still is, my favourite of all time, the GOAT of dairy ice blocks. My culinary journey is all about recreating these moments, transporting the diner back to that one specific, universal, melting jelly tip in hand on a hot summer's day, pockets jingling of coins you'd saved, running barefoot down MacArthur Street, the passing sprinklers a temporary relief before you dig into the crisp chocolate shell and cool frozen jelly ice cream combo. The jelly tip has taken me everywhere over the last 30-odd years, and within that 7 years professionally. I'm currently on version 25, I think. Each iteration a nod to that fleeting memory of the trip to MacArthur Street Dairy. Whether it was from version 1 to 25, I've learned so much every time. Whether it was tempering chocolate, that is taking chocolate through its many stages of crystallization to reach the perfect snap and mouthfeel that you see and taste before you, to learning how to incorporate dessert on a multi-sensory level across different industries. Last year, I was very lucky to receive funding to create a multi-sensory dessert degustation with Krish, the expert in architectural design, where we took diners through a 4-course dessert degustation of time and place within Aotearoa New Zealand history and beyond. Krish had 3D printed the first site of settlement, Mangahahuia Bay, in 1250 AD, and we went on to explore Auraki Mount Cook, the moon, and later questioned the place that is in Mars via the crater Morphalis. In search for life in space, the crater was once considered a potential landing site due to the clay-rich rocks. We wanted diners to question our sense of place on Earth and beyond. Krish printed these key places, and I worked on the flavour and textural combos for each point in time, utilising ingredients according to season and championing local produce from wonderfully talented makers and growers, who I'm so lucky to call friends today. We brought together friends from other industries, creating projected imagery which was interacting with the plates of dessert in real time, as well as custom-coded music that enhanced the entire dining experience. Recently, I travelled down south to cook with a talented bunch of chefs from across the country to celebrate the life of chef and past tutor, Scott Richardson. I can't even begin to explain how welcome I felt during that time, both as a diner and as one of the chefs on the pass. I didn't know Scott personally, but through my time there, I felt the essence of what he was all about. The essence of manaakitanga, reciprocal kindness and respect. The essence of what hospitality is. I got to meet with some wonderful producers in Invercargill and the chefs who were championing the outstanding produce that made its way to our plate. It was awesome. I brought Ōrākei Mount Cook with me, with toasted wakame and peppermint white chocolate ice cream, all hidden underneath a brown butter and nori seaweed wafer, the ice cream cone component, if you wish. The dish represented a memory of having the salty lick of ice cream by the sea, but with a Southland twist. It was then that I realized that food was my medium in storytelling, and that I was not just bound by the four walls of a kitchen. I could take my stories of provenance to prominence. I had the power to honor the journey of a horowhenua grown cauliflower, not just destined for soup, but perhaps in sweet. After all, Jelly Tip version 13 did have tarragon and peas. I learned that I loved to cross the lines between savoury and sweet and evoke the sense of surprise and nostalgic familiarity with food. I could run events, pop-ups, and cooking classes to bring communities together and shine a light on the incredible work of producers, growers, and makers. Food is so powerful in the sense that it can educate, bring people together, and make beautiful ingredients shine even brighter. As I begin to find my authentic cooking style and culinary voice with storytelling, combining my immigrant cultural background of being a Chinese New Zealander and with my unique culinary journey, I witnessed firsthand the power of food and storytelling. I was very lucky to feature in the hit TV series Sik Fan La and take my Pōneke hosts on a foraging feast encompassing a weli canto steamed fish with foraged greens, kaimawana steamed beachside, and freshly caught by our Chinese James Bond, Victor Huang. And yes, we finished on jelly tip for the final course. The conversations had on Sik Fan La took myself and our hosts to beyond the plates and beyond ourselves. We talked about our relationship growing up with Chinese food and the Kiwi upbringing, and what it meant for our parents who travelled from China to New Zealand on a one-way ticket to find a better life. That they just wanted the best for their children, and for their children not to go through the struggles as they did, Sik Fan Gan Lan, to not feel the aches they once felt. Market gardening was their one shot to make it work, and boy did they work hard. They turned up rain or shine, weekday or weekend. They still worry when they work long hours and long shifts, seeing how dry my hands get from working in the kitchen. But I love it, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Nowadays, I've learned to find the way that works for me, without compromising my health or family. I've learned to put my culinary voice first. Our conversations around a lazy Susan symbolize a small part of the bigger picture. These conversations take me back to Ōrākei Mount Cook, a sense of discovery and exploration, and acknowledging those who came before us, our tipuna, because only then can we look forward into the future of food with the knowledge of our past. Kia whakatau muri te haere whakamua. I walk backwards into the future with my eyes fixed on my past. 山重水復疑無路，流感花明又一村. As you pass endless mountains and waterways and fear you've lost your way, just follow the shade of willow trees. The bright flowers you'll reach, and you'll reach the destination. Kia ora koutou katoa.